Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and I've got a few black metal records I wanted to show. Something slightly different. I'm going to do a little bit of a spotlight on one artist as well in amongst it. And there's a very sketchy one which is probably going to be the last one I show. I'm still undecided whether or not to show it, but I probably will. As always with black metal update or whatever the beliefs are of the artists isn't relevant to my own beliefs. If there's something here that you think possibly might offend you, then obviously please turn off, go and watch somebody else, or watch a different one of my videos. Listening to an artist, especially in the black metal genre, where a lot of it is, the lyrics aren't really, you can't understand what they're saying, it might even possibly be in a foreign language. That is never ever going to change my outlook on life, my beliefs, my political standings or anything like that. In the same way that somebody stood on the street corner talking about Jesus or whoever, that's never going to suddenly turn me into a religious person. So we'll get cracked on, and hopefully there'll be something of interest. Welcome to the new subscribers, very much appreciated. We're up to about 580 I think the last time I looked, which is, I never ever expected to get any type of figures like that, so thank you very, very much. Hopefully, like I say, you find something of interest that makes you want to keep coming back, and we'll get cracked on and see how far through we get. So first up is a band called Moon Tower, and full disclosure, the reason I bought this album is purely because I love the picture on the cover. This is actually a compilation of a couple of EPs and a live rehearsal. Now this is out on Active Hate Records. This project are from Poland, and what we get is the first, I've made some notes in case you're wondering why I locked down. I'm not clever enough to do it off the top of my head. The first demo is called, EP, is called The Wolf's Hunger. It was recorded in 2001, but it actually came out in 2003, and that is much as a debut release goes, it's an absolute ripper. It's 4 tracks, very much as you would expect black metal to sound. Really prominent synth sound throughout, a really solid drumming as well, and then the obligatory harsh vocals. The production is actually quite clean, yet still maintains that black metal sort of ethos. It's certainly not lo-fi, but yeah, first 4 tracks absolutely superb. The second EP is called To the Dark Aeon, and again you can see it's another 4 tracks. There's a definite progression musically. The guitars are a lot more to the fore of each track. Again, the drumming is absolutely superb, and the vocals slightly more angsty than the previous EP. But again, it's another absolute cracking EP, and that was actually released in 2008. It's just on black wax, which is always nice. The rehearsal thing was done in 1996, and to be honest, it's very much, I think you'd have to be a serious black metal aficionado to get any real enjoyment out of it. It sounds like it's being recorded, you know, on a ghetto blaster in a tin bucket type thing. But if you listen to it carefully, you can sort of, there's that underlying, yeah, these have definitely got potential, which obviously was proven with the EP, the Wolf's Hunger EP that came out in 2003. So overall, there's a little sort of timestamp of where the band. I don't know what else they've done, or if you know, if they got better or worse or whatever. But there's a little timestamp of the band, late 90s, early 2000s. It's really, really good, and it was really cheap as well. I think I only paid something along the lines of like £12 for it. So, so I would have probably bought it just for the cover alone. So that is Moon Tower, and their compilation of 2 EPs and a live rehearsal. Now the next band I'm going to struggle to pronounce, but we'll give it a go. And what I'll do is I'll write it down in the underneath when I show it. This is superb. This is Kman Cantage. That's the band's name, and the title is Elevalta Hadwata, or some such thing like that. This came out in 2013 originally. It's their second full length. This is the one on Purity Through Fire. This version came out in, I think it was 2018. This is black metal from Finland. Now these are classed as DSBM, Depressive Suicidal Black Metal, I believe that stands for. And you can see and hear why. However, this is one of the most engaging things I've listened to in months. There's that overwhelming fear of anxiety and angst and sorrowfulness and moroseness, but the music's quite captivating and quite. There's a couple of passages where if you could listen to it in isolation, you'd probably think, well, it could be a doom band, this. The only inner sheet is just more boobies, which is never a bad thing, I suppose. Again, black wax. Now this is only actually one song, and it lasts 35 minutes or just over. However, this doesn't feel like a 35-minute song. There's just it's so mesmeric all the way through the music. But the thing that turns this into depressive black metal is the vocal performance. The vocals on this are horrendous, awful, they're painful, they're full of spite and vitriol, and it's absolutely stunning. Like I said, the back catalogue of this this project is massive. I will definitely be trying to get more of the stuff, but again, it was a semi-blind buy, and I'm so glad. It's one of my favourites. That it's been spun constantly since I picked it up, to the point where I even actually got the digital download and banged it on my phone. It's just absolutely wonderful piece of depressive, melancholic black metal, but with a how do you say it? It's just hypnotic. The music is so almost tranquil and peaceful in places, but the vocal performance over the top of it is just absolutely savage. Superb release, and like I say, I'm definitely going to try and find more of the stuff. So that is Kman Cantage and Elevalta Hadwata, something like that. I'll write it, you know, when you say it type thing. Right, next up, a while ago I was fortunate enough to receive a VCLT from Gordon over at the Blackened Hymns channel, and in that VCLT there was this cassette by the band Parves Vesen. This is, which one was it? It was Maniac Manifest. Now this was the first thing out of the package that Gordon sent me. I just instantly, the cover drew me in, and I thought, yeah, we'll give that a go. This is such a fantastic find, which goes to show just how good the metal community is in the VC part of the world. I would probably have never heard this band if it hadn't been for Gordon's generosity. So a massive shout out to Gordon. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description, just in case you've been sleeping under a rock and you don't know who Gordon is. So listening to that obviously got me, I wonder what else he's done. Went searching a little bit, and I managed to pick up quite a few of his records over the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to go into detail about every single record that's here, but I'll show you what I've got and then talk about that. So first up is, this is a split with the band Temple Moon. This came out in 2018, and this is again very depressive, atmospheric, just wonderful black metal. And the inlay card with the Parves Vesen are actually from Belarus, and as I've said countless times, I don't consider myself a black metal aficionado in any way, shape or form, but they're one of those, if you look on Encyclopedia Metallum, it says members none. You know, they're very much sort of keeping themselves to themselves. Now I'm sure that people who do follow black metal and know the stuff will know who these gentlemen are, or this gentleman is, or however many people are in there. But yeah, absolutely stunning. So next up is Church of Bones. This came out in 2018. This is the debut full length. Again, you've got Matey Boy on the front. The cover pretty much sums up what the music sounds like. It's proper, like, big boy black metal, if you know what I mean. It's not going to, if you're not a fan of black metal, it's not going to change your mind. It's not going to suddenly, you're not going to see the light and run into the forest screaming and shouting and slaughtering virgins and such like. Obviously, I think it was Johnny Matt that said he likes to take photos of himself. Not John. I mean, John does like to take photos of himself, but the gentleman behind the project. And again, it's just, there's an eeriness and an atmosphere that is very, very dark, but it's sort of what you expect, and it works perfectly. So next up we have a split between Knife Ritual. Sorry, it's not a split, it's two demos. The demos are called Knife Ritual and Dead Womb. Again, this version came out in 2018. I'm not sure if that's when the originals were released or if these are all just chucked out, you know, at the same time. These are on Iron Fortress. Sorry, I forgot to mention. No, Iron Bonehead even. Jesus me. But again, yeah, really, really solid releases, all of them. And considering that is like the first two demos, you can see straight away, or you can hear straight away, yeah, there's something disturbingly good about this whole project. I absolutely love it. These have been spun constantly on the when the mood for black metal takes. So next up is a 7-inch, and it is actually an EP. This is called Cryptic Rites of Necromancy. Once again, Lado's on the front in the middle of some forest somewhere. And like as I keep saying, this is proper what a non-black metal fan would imagine black metal to be, in my opinion. And I absolutely, this whole project is just something really, really special. Or it is for me anyway. Next up we have the second full length. This is called Purification, and again it's just a continuation of the previous releases. There's not really a massive amount of difference from album to album, but then if you've got something that's working, that's tried and tested, then why change it up? I mean, there's little subtle nuances here and there, but Nothing, he's not suddenly starting singing clean vocals and such like. Again, all on black wax. But yeah, another outstanding release. So that was the second full length. This is the third full length, and this is the one that Gordon was kind enough to send me. This is that Maniac Manifest. This came out in 2021. And again, it's just, there's something so mesmeric about this band, this project. It's, especially if you listen to it through headphones, you can just get totally lost, quite literally lost in the music. Plenty of pictures of Vado, yet again. And just to make sure we haven't forgot who he is, the inner sheet has himself on again, twice. And we also get the poster, which is actually the front cover of the cassette that Gordon sent me. So yeah, it's just one of those sort of instant like connections with it after just listening to the cassette that Gordon sent me. Again, black wax, not a lot to see. And this is the recent and fourth full length. This is called Martyrs. This came out in 2023, and as I've said with all those, you get Lado inside and a companion, as it were. Not looking overly pleased with the life. But yeah, if you want to listen to something that is atmospheric, that has all the traits of black metal, that's done really, really well. The mix and the production is, it's not lo-fi, but you know, the vocals are quite well back in the mix. They are very much a means to an end, almost like an extra instrument. But yeah, it's repeating myself, I know, but this is an absolutely superb project. And there's a couple of things there that I still haven't picked up, but I will when if and when I find them. But yeah, so just, like I say, a little bit different, and that was what I've managed to pick up so far from Parves Vesen, the black metal project from Belarus. Now, to finish this off, this is the album that's extremely sketchy, and I will say straight away, the crowd participation in this is the most vitriolic thing I've ever heard, and it sounds like it's being recorded next to the mixing desk, so it's not a great sound. However, when you isolate the music by itself, if you can ignore the ridiculous chants, and I'm not going to go into detail, but there are certainly obviously fans of a certain Austrian gentleman from many years ago. The music is a fantastic snapshot of where this artist was back in the day. The album and artist in question is Goatmoon. This is called Hard Evidence. This came out in 2010. This is on Bestial Burst, and this concert was actually recorded in 2009. We know Goatmoon are black goats from Finland. He has got a fantastic back catalogue of very antagonistic, hateful music. But again, as I've said countless times, if music's good, regardless of the message they're trying to put across, I'm okay listening to it. It's not going to change my opinions, it's not going to change my, anything else, my beliefs or anything. But if you're a black metal fan and you haven't heard this, and you want to hear what Goatmoon was doing, was that 15, 16 years ago, compared like to where he is now, and you can put aside the ridiculous chanting, this is an absolutely, and I would say it's an essential listen. Maybe not an essential own, but bear in mind, like I said, the recording's not first rate, it's not it's not superb quality, but when you listen to the music you can see and hear the where he was at that time, what his beliefs were, and I'm sure they're still the same. He's maybe just a little bit more accepting of things. But yeah, so I picked this up from Beatdown Records in Newcastle, where I get 90% of the stuff. So I was surprised to see it in there, and I was never going to leave it, because, like I say, regardless of how much of a dickhead you might think he is, the music he puts out is very, very interesting, we'll say. So that's it for this one. So it's not. If I do a little bit different and show a collection of the Parves Vesen things, rather than just showing one record and then in a month's time showing another one, I will. If I ever get some more of them, then I'll do another update at some point. If you stuck out with me this long, thank you very much for watching. It means a lot. Taking the time out of your day to sit and watch me waffle on about stuff that's controversial, I suppose. I've got plenty of other black metal that's come in, and quite a lot of death metal. And at the weekend just gone, which was the 20th of April, I visited a local record fair. We did alright there, so we might do an old school record fair OG type thing. Thanks very much for watching. Pop down in the comments, and it's always fun to interact. And you know, I had somebody comment the other day, and I do apologise because I can't remember, I didn't make a note of the name, saying how much he enjoyed my channel and that he'd actually discovered quite a few new bands because of it, and thanking me for it. And that's, for me, that's what the whole VC thing's about. I've certainly discovered some incredible music because of it, and long may it continue. So look after one another. Enjoy whatever music you're listening to, whatever genre of music you're listening to, and as always, until next time, cheers!